What's up guys, it's me, SpideyMc-Verse here in the background once again. So if you saw the video's title, this video is pretty much going to be a so-called goodbye video to one kind of a fan base I've used to be a part of for around 10 years now. That's a long ass time. So this isn't exactly a goodbye video in general. I'm not quitting YouTube in any way. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do this video for the people that were also a part of that fan base I also used to be. And yeah, the 10th year anniversary of that fan base, or so-called SpideyMc-Verse, which I like to call it myself. You probably saw it in the title. But yeah, on July 22nd this year will be the official day when the first server of this SpideyMc-Verse is going to turn exactly 10 years old. And I decided that, decided to tell that what I've been going through all of these recent 10 years when I've been in this fan base. And this might get a little bit emotional, so I won't blame you guys if I may sound a bit weird at points, but I'm going to tell this the way I want to. And I guess let's get into it then. So the server which I'm talking about is SpideyMc. That was a server that was owned by AlongCameJosh, who is now retired from making anything Minecraft related these days. He has a completely new career now. And what I would like to say is, firstly, is that he has been a big inspiration in my life. And honestly, he has provided me with some of the greatest memories I can think of. This guy, Josh Sullivan is his full name. He had created this first server, which went by the name of SpideyCraft, back in 2014. I wasn't part of the server quite yet back then, but I was already a fan of his YouTube content, which he used to make quite a lot back then. He hasn't been on YouTube for around, well, technically 5 months now. When he made a new video back in January 2024, but his official video about his retirement came out 2 years ago, around summertime. And yeah, he created this first server, SpideyCraft, back in around July 2014. I think the date was indeed 20 22nd of that month, which is when all of this started pretty much. I mean, he used to make videos around 2012 already, but he didn't make the first Minecraft server where his fans could play together until 2014. So around the time he was making that server, he was doing the Spider-Man Plays Minecraft series on his channel, and it quickly turned from regular Minecraft series to into some sort of adventure type-ish content. I mean, there was this character called Felix Calabanza, if I remember that right. And it was quite an interesting series. He made around 4 seasons of that series. The last and the fourth one came around 2020, which was around the time he was making the spin-off series to that series, which went by the name of Curse of Felix. Curse of Felix happened after that series, but anyway, that's not the main point of this. But anyway, I used to watch lots of videos from the time he had made the first server, which was SpideyCraft. And by the way, the reason why I'm calling this SpideyMc-Verse is because after that first server, which was SpideyCraft, he used to make lots of other servers, which were always something related to Spider-Man and Minecraft. But the names have since differed quite a lot, and there were also new owners. Josh wasn't the main owner of those of most of those servers, but yeah. So the first server, which was SpideyCraft, that lasted around 1 year until it shut down. I'm not sure what the reason was again, but I wasn't around playing in that server back then. But it was honestly very cool to see how many people actually, well, how many people were fans of AlongCameJosh back then. Of course, people don't really know him anymore, because he doesn't make the same type of content anymore. But that was around when Minecraft was still old school, so to speak. And there was lots of people there, which I would befriend sooner or later. But there's not really point to speak about the first server, because I wasn't around when that server existed. It was around December 2015 when I joined another server. I mean, the successor to the first server, and this another second server was named SpideyMc. And I still remember the day when I first joined there. I'm not sure what the exact date was, but it was around December 2015 when I joined there. I was already a big fan of Josh by that point. So I'm trying to recall what happened on that day when I first joined the SMC, which is a shorter term for SpideyMc. So there was this player who went by the name of New Yorker 7, and I'm not sure if he was the first friend that I made on SpideyMc. Anyway, he was pretty helpful. He decided to introduce me to the server for the first time. I wasn't really familiar with with the things that were on there. Anyway, it was really nice of him to introduce me to this fall SpideyMc scene. And because of that, I decided to mostly keep playing in there. Anyway, as the time passed, I made friends with a couple of others on the server. And yeah, there was this nice event that happened. Well, it was really possibly a admin trolling, but it surrounded this creepypasta character in Minecraft, which went by the name of Null. Some of you old timers may remember the Null creepypasta, and Null is this black layer looking character which was popular at the time around mid 2010s. And if I'm right, AlongCameJosh pretty much hyped up that character so that people would know about it, even if it was a fake. But anyway, for me, that was such a great time that I got to have. There was this admin pretending to be Null. They were mostly invisible. I'm not sure if they were really pretending to be Null or some other creepypasta character like Herobrine or Entity 303. But yeah, what I can remember is that I used to be quite scared of it at the time. Of course, I'm not scared of it now. But yeah, at one point I decided to create a house with this player called Aston Blaze. I'm not sure what he's up to these days, or what New Yorker 7 is either. But yeah, I made this house with Ash, and I think it was around Christmas Eve of 2015 when he decided to decorate my house by replacing the blocks of my house. My house was pretty derpish, so to speak. And that was honestly the best gift I could have gotten from him. But also around that time I was being attacked by Null again. Perhaps some player was trolling or something, but anyway, there were people coming over to my house, cause Null was attacking my house at the time. And I'm not sure who the players were. I lived next to us, around the same area. It was next to a sea with some hill-like mountain over on the other side. And there were pretty much players doing some random shit. I can't really remember what happened around those times. But anyway, around New Year's Eve 2015, AlongCameJosh came to the server, and I was really happy about it, because that was pretty much my idol. I mean, he was my #1 idol at the time. And I was really happy when I met him in player, so to speak. But yeah, we were on the spawn. The spawn was like kind of this village-like area on top of a very huge mountain. If you go to AlongCameJosh channel and search something up from him from around late 2015 or early 2016, you may know what I'm talking about. But anyway, when we were on the spawn, we were firstly hanging around with some other players, and we had also this item drop party. If you don't know what that is, it's pretty much when a player goes on top of a high platform and pretty much drop stuff to the ground for the other players to pick up. It changed quite a lot, the stuff I mean. Yeah, when we were doing the Christmas tree, we decided to burn it down. If you guys wanna know about it, just check out the Happy New Year video from AlongCameJosh that was posted around January 1st, 2016 on his channel AlongCameJosh. He has 5 channels, one that focused on gameplays, one that focused on skits, then another hidden one called Urban Gaming, which was around 2011, and then his recent channel Josh Sullivan. On his recent channel he mostly posts stuff related to his new career. He does game development these days. But anyway, we had this big group gathering at the spawn right after we decided to burn down the Christmas tree. And it was quite nice. I got to be in the video that Josh recorded. We were posing for pictures. Perhaps some other players were taking some pictures and all. I didn't take. I was around 10 years old when that stuff happened. But anyway, now that we are hopping onto 2016, that was probably the year I was the most active on that server. I befriended quite lots of people in there. The people that I mostly befriended myself with were players called Thor Haller, then also Consred, who goes by the name of Conc these days. I'm still aware of that he has a YouTube channel. Then the other person was Peabody. I'm close friends with him to this day. And who else? Then there was Axi, you know, OXI. His name is spelled that way. We were mostly playing SpideyMc around that time until we reunited just this year in KailumCraft, which is the newest server related to SpideyMc-Verse. And we are close friends again, so to speak, because I'm not sure what happened, but our friendship ended about right after the third server closed down, which I'm not getting into right now. But anyways, this was around the time when, this was around the time from which I can remember the most, and it was honestly the greatest time of my life. Even if there was some arguments here and there, I was still able to, you know, help others on the server, most of which became my friends. I mean, the people that I used to help and all. Even if we didn't stay friends for long. But yeah. This was also around the time when multiple null attacks happened on the server. Even if I didn't get to be in most of those, it was still pretty fun. And I honestly miss that time so much. Things are not like they used to be, so to speak, now that I'm looking back on those times. Right now, everything has changed so much. It really sucks me quite. I mean, it's pretty sucking when you think about it in the way that how pretty much everything that has a beginning always has an end. So summer 2016, that was really great time that I got to have. People were still playing actively and all. And yeah. Then we move on to around October 2016. Josh was doing these videos. I mean, this was around the time he was doing the... What was that series that he was making? Yeah, Judge Josh. This series pretty much focused on the stuff that people were doing on the server. Well, mainly the bad stuff that people were doing on the server, such as hacking or taking advantage of others. That was a pretty great series as well. I mean, there were people that were actually doing this pretty stupid stuff and all. And it was a series that was really nice to follow. But anyway, this was also around the time when when SpideyMc changed up a bit, and ownership pretty much changed as well. And then also came the time when, oh yeah, I forgot this, but it was some of the old SMC members here may know that the most notorious person that was playing around the time was called David the Hacker. He was pretty much just his whole of character was pretty much focused on doing bad stuff and all, just such as hacking and all. But he pretty much went next level with all of that stuff, and I was quite happy that Josh eventually noticed this, and I think it was in the second episode when people realized that he was up to no good. I mean, most players were aware of that already, but I decided to say it to those that didn't know about it. But anyway, when 2016 came to an end, it was in 2017 when the third server was around. I mean, it was created around that time. However, it didn't last long, because it was around this time when Josh decided to retire for the first time, so that he could focus on to the game development stuff and all. Oh yeah, another thing that I forgot to mention was that around mid-2015 there was the server called Parabellum, which was temporary, because SpideyCraft had some issues, so that people were pretty much forced to play on the Parabellum server. I'm not really sure what happened around there, because I wasn't playing yet back then. But anyway, when we come to the 2017, around the time when Josh was leaving from the server, I remember being quite sad about it, because as much as I got to be active on the multiple SpideyMc-Verse servers, so to speak, it was pretty sucking to know that it all would come to an end. But yeah, it was sucking that it would all come to an end, and to know that probably the people that I used to hang around with, I probably don't get to see them anymore. Oh yeah, it hit me quite a lot. But then I was also thinking that maybe there comes some day when SpideyMc may return. However, in 2018 there was this one SpideyMc server that luckily was made. However, that didn't last long either. But then in early 2019, Josh finally decided to come from his retirement and to make this new server. Around 2019, there was also this another YouTuber, Mr. Honeybun. He made his own server which was related to SpideyMc because he was a close friend of AlongCameJosh. But anyway, not only did the old members of SMC came back, but there was also a huge amount of new players that also joined. most of which I also befriended myself with. But then also around 2019 through 2020, it was quite hard to be on that server because there was this huge toxic war that was going on, and I was numerously harassed for around a year, which took a pretty big toll on me. As much as I tried to be around, there were people numerously trying to harass me and many other old players. So now that I think about it in the way, these new players were pretty much trying to dismiss all the old players. I mean, from what I was able to see. But I was able to hang around with some new members as well, because they weren't as toxic as the other ones were. But anyway, at one point, I'm gonna tell you guys about the events that happened around 2019 when Josh returned, which I was very happy about. And not only that, but when Mr. Honeypan created the server mostly as a side server to the SpideyMc server that Josh created, which went by the name of HoneyMC. So I was very happy about it. Anyway, when the SpideyMc server was created, it was pretty obvious that something exciting was going to happen, and it finally did after Null returned to the server. Yes, the very creepypasta character. And yeah, then I pretty much went with the flow, so to speak. But anyway, at one point I got to be in this town, which was called Calf Town, which was created by Issatiak. If I'm even pronouncing that name correctly, I don't care. But anyway, that was a pretty great town. I mean, it's pretty much still up there. You can download the server that was around the time in 2019. I'm not sure how you can download it, but I do remember that it is available to download. But I don't have any plans to check it out now. Oh yeah. Then there was this creepypasta called Puppy1545. It was this original creepypasta that Josh created. However, it pretty much got hyped the heck up after it got a huge amount of Russian followers. I'm not sure how that really happened, but there was this huge amount of Russian members that got aware of it and pretty much hyped the fuck up about it. And yeah, that may have also affected the servers in the way that so many players eventually decided to join into them. Mainly SpideyMc, but also HoneyMC, which I'm going to call HMC. Just like I call SpideyMc SMC. But yeah, then this was also around the time when Josh was making these numerous original creepypastas. He made 3 main ones back in 2016, but it was around this time when people were seriously hyping up these creepypastas that Josh was making, and also what Mr. Honeybun was also making. So it was like I got to have such great time with those whenever a new one popped up, and we got to review them afterwards. The last one that Josh made was around 2021. I'm going to get there at one point, but anyway. We also had this Nala hunt at one point. I wasn't a part of it, but it was around when Nala was doing a comeback to the server. It was around the same time as well. Oh yeah. Back in 2014, Josh is mainly known for his Herobrine sightings videos, which pretty much gave him the deserved following. But in 2015 he was going to make this one series called the Herobrine sightings, and that video was some of my favorites that I had seen from him. So in 2020, around 5 years after the first part, he made the part 2 to that video, and I got to enjoy it too because it had that early 2010s feeling with most of Minecraft videos from around that time when pretty much people were making lots of scary stuff with the Silent Hill music and all. But yeah, then he was going to make part 3 to that series as well. However, that never happened for a reason or two. But anyway, I would have killed to see that part, so to speak. Oh yeah, then Josh made the Cave Dweller creepypasta, which became my ultimate favorite out of the creepypasta saga that Josh had been making. And that was such a great episode. I highly suggest that you guys go check it out on Josh's channel. It has around 300,000 views, so it's pretty popular. It had this creature that was living in this really deep cave, and it seemed that the cave had no exit. Once you had entered in the cave, there was no exit. So that alone made it pretty creepy. But then again, it's so cool to see people making these numerous creepypastas or other Minecraft videos that focus on scary stuff and try to get something original out of them. Mr. Honeybun eventually he stopped doing his creepypasta series around late 2023, so around 9 months ago or so. But yeah, this was around the time when Josh was making the last Spider-Man Plays Minecraft series. My favorite season was season 2 that he was making around 2013-2014. Probably because it is my favorite season because I watched that series the most. The season the most. And Season 4 wasn't as good as I was expecting it to be. I mean, I enjoyed Season 1 and 3 as much as I did Part 2. But this newest season, Season 4, it wasn't quite as exciting as I thought it would be. However, I'm not saying that it was a bad season in any way. However, it was still the weakest season that I had seen. I felt that it was simply lacking something. But yeah, the series came to an end in 2021, around the first half of that year. Josh has also just the new recent SpideyMc server and the HoneyMC server were still around. However, people were slowly starting to leave from those servers, probably because both Josh and Pan weren't uploading that much anymore, and because the Minecraft community was pretty much changing at that point, because PewDiePie played it for the first time in 2019. I mean, that wasn't the first time he was playing it. I remember that he did the first Minecraft video back in 2010, when Minecraft was still in its alpha stage, but it was around 2019 when he decided to make a full-on series about it, or like a Let's Play series. And people were starting to follow in his footsteps, and pretty much forgetting about these old type Minecraft videos that people used to make. But anyway, around that time also my closest friend Dragon Hunt Show, I mean, he went by the name of Dragon Slayer 6660 back in 2016. I was I mean, I could tell about him a little. So around 2016, I met Dragon Slayer on the SpideyMc server, and we became close friends soon after. He decided to invite me to his private realm with Consred, who's now Conc, and we had this little, well, survival challenge, and we were pretty much building up stuff and all, but we also decided to troll each other a lot back then. But then when SpideyMc, the third SpideyMc server closed down, that was when me and Draco broke up, so to speak. And in 2019 he came back. However, I'm not sure what happened, but I didn't become his friend afterwards. I'm not sure if it was because his personality changed quite a bit. I had noticed that myself. He wasn't really the person that he was back in 2016. Probably because we were growing up at that point, and things pretty much changed. But anyway, I'ma get back into him in a while. So he had this, I forgot to say it, but he had his own server called Heroseer, which lasted for around a year. It's not up anymore. But anyway, it was also around the time when Josh decided to leave from YouTube. It was in late 2021 when he made this one creepypasta called The End. and it was pretty much a joke video in which Nala, the creepypasta character, pretty much took over SpideyMc. Josh marketed in a way that SpideyMc would make a comeback because the probably the fourth or the fifth or even the seventh SpideyMc related server had closed down by that point, and he was going to make a new server. However, he decided to back down on that, and he made the joke video in the end. But anyway, around 6 months after that video, he made his goodbye video, in which he explained reasons why he was going to stop making videos. He did explain the first situation back in 2017 when he retired for the first time, and he was pretty much quitting for the same reasons this time around too, which was that he was going to focus on his personal life. He's a dad now, a father. He has a kid and a wife, and he's currently living with his family wherever they are living now. But anyway, in the video he explained that we would meet at some point again, which did happen back in January this year, when the newest server, which is still up to this day, KailumCraft. That's the name of the server. I'm going to link that server down in the description if you guys are interested. But yeah, in 2022, when Mr. Honeybun was also making his videos, that was around the time when people were pretty much forgetting about him as well. By the end of that year, pretty much everything changed with him as well. And by summer 2023, his content had changed quite a lot. And the last creepypasta that Honeybun would make as of today, as of recording this video, June 15th, 2024, the last creepypasta that Mr. Honeybun would make so far was a creepypasta titled A Door to Nowhere, which was not really a creepypasta, but a message about nostalgia and how you can never return to the good old times. And that was honestly probably the saddest creepypasta that I saw from him. It could have been like its own story. When I was watching that video came around September 2023. At the end of that year, HoneyMC also came to an end, which was succeeded by KailumCraft. But anyway, the Door to Nowhere creepypasta that Mr. Honeybun had made, that was also the last one so far. That creepypasta was honestly so powerful to me, because that pretty much works as a message to every SpideyMc player. Well, pretty much anyone that played the numerous servers that were part of the SpideyMc-Verse. Because I'm not sure if Mr. Honeybun also made it purposefully, that people would know that it would be the last video that Mr. Honeybun would make relating to these creepypastas. The latest video that Mr. Honeypan would make was in this year's January, in which he would promote this new server KailumCraft, which is by the way owned by one of Josh's longtime fans, named Sankanur, if I'm right. But honestly, that creepypasta hit me in such a way that I kinda cried after I saw it. Like, we have come so far to this point in which pretty much every OG member of the first group of SpideyMc related servers I mean, knowing that lots of members from those servers have now gone because we have grown up. Whenever I was thinking about the many times I had with so many players. I mean, well, people technically. Yeah, when I was thinking about the times I had with those people, I cried. Pretty much. It was such a emotional creepypasta, which makes it hard to call it even a creepypasta. The door to nowhere creepypasta, I'm talking about that. Knowing how much people have, people have either stayed in the servers or then have completely disappeared to focus on their own lives, now that most of us are adults by this point. It's been around 10 years when when the first SpideyCraft server came to be. And it was also very refreshing to see so many old folks pop out in the KailumCraft server when it was opened. There isn't as much people in that server either, because people have simply moved on. It's such a devastating thing to witness. I mean, at one point you are playing in a server that's once been popular around hundreds of people. Then after 10 years, when there's been multiple servers related to that very server, people simply have either gone by that point when the newest server has come. I've been such a long time fan of AlongCameJosh and Mr. Honeypan. I'm not sure if I'm the only old-time member of SpideyMc-Verse right now, but I've been a fan of AlongCameJosh since around 2012 or 2013, I'm not sure exactly. And I first knew about the very first SpideyCraft server back in 2014 until I joined the second server in 2015. And now that I joined this newest server, KailumCraft, or shortly put KMC, it really feels different. Now that you realize that so many people have gone from a fan base that was once so popular and filled with so many people that you became friends with in the end or not, and the people that you didn't become friends with, you still used to hang around those people, no matter the age you were. I mean, the SpideyMc-Verse servers were mostly popular within 10 to 14 age group. I first joined the the second SpideyMc, the second SpideyMc related server in 2015 when I was around 10 years old, and this year I'll be 19. You can spend so much time in a fan base that you become so connected into it that you make friends with so many people in there, whether or not they will stay as your friends forever. And I would say that many of these SpideyMc-Verse servers had exactly the kind of people I was always happy to surround myself with. And if there's any of you people that may know me, Chvuz, my Minecraft name was Chvuz. As you can see in the video's title, I had so much fun with you. And whether you still are my friend or whether you don't even know who I am, you can always be sure that I was well, whether or not you became my close friend, you can be sure that I made you happy in some sort of way. And I'm very proud of it. So yeah. What I would like to say to this at the end of this is that always make most of the time you have. I mean, whenever you are having fun with a group of people, always make the best of it. because sooner or later you realize that that time is gone. Something tragic may happen that will end all of the fun that you are having that in that friend group, so to speak. Or in other case, you may just end up forgetting about each other. And even if there's been times in SpideyMc or HoneyMC or KailumCraft that I have regretted doing. I mean, there's quite lots of things that I do regret doing now, but then there's also stuff that other people did that were as stupid as my deeds. And we are probably regretting those moments to this day even. But then again, we gotta remember that we did most of those things where we were around 10 to 14 year olds. So yeah, this has been Chvuz speaking to you. Well, currently KailumCraft members, but not only those members, but in pretty much everyone that has been a part of AlongCameJosh fan base. And those of you that may end up seeing this video, I just wanna say that whether or not you got to be around with me, I'm very happy that I got to be around you. We have grown up so much that it's time to move into a new chapter in our lives. I will still check out the stuff that both Josh and Mr. Honeypan have done, and not only those, but what the many members of SpideyMc-Verse members were also doing. And I hope you guys have a good day. Goodbye.